Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. My name is Story Dude. I'm here to bring you the best of the best of the best of the stories making the rounds of the internet. Without further ado, let's get right in and see what we're going to be talking about today. Am I the a-hole for firing the babysitter because she brought her dog to my house? This happened this past weekend. My wife and I have a 6-month-old kid. My wife and I planned a date night and we hired our babysitter we've used half a dozen times. The babysitter, who is 20 years old, is a college student that lived in our neighborhood and came recommended by some friends that had kids. She came over to our house, we told her our son's schedule, then headed out. We were going to go out for dinner and then meet up with friends for drinks. We have 2 cameras in our house that we can access remotely to check in on our son. One is over his bed, and the other is over his play area in the living room. The babysitter knows about both cameras, so it isn't like we were spying on her. My wife gets a notification that there is motion in the play area. She pulls it up to check in. She sees a dog sniffing our son. We're both like, what the hell? We don't own any dogs and have no plans to ever own any dogs. We try calling, no answer. So we rush home. Sorry, it's the sniffing. All right, we go inside and the babysitter is holding our son, and there is a golden retriever just hanging out. Golden retrievers are big. I mean, they could eat a baby for sure. Everyone is calm and fine. The babysitter seems shocked we are already home. I ask the babysitter, why is there a dog in our house? She says it's her golden retriever and decided to bring it today. The babysitter assures us that the dog is baby and kid friendly and is sweet and safe. I don't want my son around dogs at such a young age, even if they are sweet and safe. I'm getting more and more angry. This was not something she was transparent about, and if we knew the dog was going to be there, I would have never okayed it. I just firmly tell her to grab her dog and please leave. I inform her that we won't be using her in the future and pay her half her rate we had agreed upon, mostly since we used her less than half the time we were going to be out. She asks for the full amount. I told her, no, you put my kid in danger, and you should leave. She says she did nothing wrong, but I don't see it that way. Was I the a-hole? In principle, it sounds that you are correct, but it sounds like you got really angry at this person and didn't pay them for the job that was at least partially done. And I'm sure if you'd been nice about it, she probably wouldn't have, asked for all of the money. I don't know. She really messed up bringing the dog, though. There's no dog that is baby safe in this entire universe. So you did right to fire her. That's my opinion. Again, let's see what the comments are from the community on this one. Not the a-hole. If she thought it was no big deal, then why didn't you see the dog arrive when she did before you left? Wow, big brain time. I didn't think of that. Yeah, she like sneaks the dog in, like hides the dog out back, and then as you go, she's like, "All right, come on in, it's safe." That's just crazy. People will never stop surprising me. You're not the a-hole. The fact that you didn't see the dog when she arrived tells me she knew this was wrong and therefore kept him out of sight. But then again, you said she knew about the cameras, though. Intentional or not, you don't take pets along without clearing it with the parents. I mean, also, in most not most cultures, in a lot of cultures, dogs are just, they don't go inside. They're disgusting, dirty creatures that should never be allowed inside. And, for the same reasons, in many cultures, you take your shoes off when you go inside. You don't bring a dog inside. So I think it's highly presumptuous of this babysitter, but then again, she's only 20, so maybe you could cut her some slack. The possibilities are endless, but it does sound like you were really mean about it in any case, and I don't believe in that. Not the a-hole. I don't know who in their right mind would bring an animal into a person's home without checking with them. Well, some, stoned 20-year-old babysitter. Absolutely not the a-hole. That was extremely unprofessional. You don't bring a dog over to someone's house without permission, much less expose their 6-month-old baby to a dog without permission. The sitter is not safe, and you are right to fire them. Yeah. Not the a-hole. Of course not the a-hole. Who brings an animal into someone else's home without asking? What if You'd had horrific allergies. I didn't think of that, too. But also, it was just incredibly unprofessional. Again, who brings an animal into someone else's home in all caps without even asking permission? But I'm terribly curious. How did you not see the dog when she arrived? Because it was hidden. Yeah. Am I the a-hole for selling my house to my son? I suppose as opposed to giving it to him? My son has lived with me the past 3 years with his son and daughter. My son helps a lot with taking care of the house and doing errands for me. I feel he has invested a lot into the house, labor wise. I decided to offer to sell it to him at a good deal. I can use the money to enjoy retirement a bit more, and he can build equity into his home. My son was very happy to buy the house. My daughter found out and is pissed. She said, I'm stealing inheritance from her sons and making sure everything will go to my son's kids. This isn't really true because if something happens to me, my assets will be split between them, including the money I made from the sale of the house. My daughter thinks I was massively unfair to her, but it's my house. Is this practically much different from selling to a stranger? Not the a-hole, but your daughter is. She's burying you alive. You owe her no inheritance. If you sold the house to a stranger and spent all the money in Las Vegas, you would have the right to do this. And as you say, your assets will be split equally between them. The cheek to say you are stealing the money you earned. She can go earn herself as much as she wants. Your daughter is correct about the assets will be split. Your son gave you money for the house, but maybe not its fair value. You're then going to return half of it to him in inheritance, and he keeps the house at a discounted rate. Whatever the difference in value sold versus market should be given to her. Yeah, it's a good point. My thought is, though, the house will be worth a lot more than whatever is left from the sale of the house. You did, in fact, take something away from her and those grandchildren. Not the a-hole, it's your stuff, so do with it as you please. My friend's grandfather donated a nearly $2 million oceanfront apartment in Seal Beach, California. Literally, the porch was an unobstructed view of the surf, so it could always be worse for your daughter. Not the a-hole, but your daughter is correct that generational wealth transfer is going disproportionately to your son and by extension his children. It's not just about the total value. It's also about the time value. He's getting part of his inheritance now, whereas she is not. And $50K compounded at 8% per year for 25 years is a significant chunk of change. If that's your intent, then that is your right. But if it's not your intent, then you might want to consult with an attorney to see how you could structure your will to even that out. Is this practically much different from selling to a stranger? It's very different from selling the house to your daughter. Don't be disingenuous. So, info time. I decided to offer to sell it to him at a good deal. What exactly does this mean, below market value or not? Because if it was, my assets will be split between them, including the money I made from the sale of the house. That instantly becomes pretty meaningless. Yikes. I get that you didn't mean to, but you did royally screw over your daughter here. You can do whatever you want with your money, but it seems like you are really unaware of how unfair your actions are if your intent is to treat your kids fairly. Your son just got a great asset for his steal. He was able to save money living for free. The house will continue to appreciate, and he will get half the profit money from the sale back in inheritance. I have to go with you're the a-hole here because I'm hoping your intent is to treat your children equally, and you are not doing that. I hope you can find a way to make this right and fix your relationship with your daughter. Best of luck. And I want to stop here and say that although my memory is pretty bad, and I haven't been doing this for too long, but I believe that this is the first time I've seen a conflicting judgment in terms of having NTA and YTA in the same post. It's mildly interesting, at least to me. Let's move on. Let's move on right to the end. How about that? Well, everyone out there, I want to wish you all a great day and thank you once again for your support of the channel. And yeah, we'll catch you again soon for some more great stories out there, man. Because the world keeps on turning, and that just means infinite stories. And I've got infinite time, so man, bring it on, baby. Catch you later, guys.